I have never really been good at doing something just because everybody else says that's the way it's supposed to be done. Never very good at that, actually. The second someone tells me this is just how we do it, that's usually the exact moment I cringe and I start asking questions. Why are we doing it that way? Who decided that's the only way? And is there actually a better way to get where we're really trying to go? I've been like that my whole life. Not because I need to be different for the sake of being different, and definitely not because I like making my own life harder. Let me tell you a little story. Over 20 years ago now, I became the office manager of the road commission in my hometown. And the original office manager was training me. She was walking me through the end of year Act 51 report, showing me how it was done. And partway through, I said, well, I think it'd be simpler to do it this way. Why don't we do it that way? And she looked at me and said, because that's the way we've always done it. And I cringed. She trained me for 3 months on a year-end process. I really only needed one. And when she finally left, I was able to streamline the systems and processes. And the 3-month year-end Act 51 report only really took me 2 weeks. Eventually, when I turned my resignation in, the next office manager was able to pick up almost right where I left off in a month or less because of these systems and processes I had already put into place. That's just how my brain works. When something doesn't make sense to me, I question it. When I see a better way, I'm probably going to try it. And when I feel deep down I'm supposed to go in a different direction, even when everyone else around me thinks it's a little bit crazy or that's not what they're doing, I've gotten pretty comfortable going first. And that question, does it actually have to be done this way, followed me straight into business. Because there's a difference between being rebellious just to be rebellious and being willing to go against the grain because the grain is carrying everybody somewhere you have no intention of going. And that, my friend, I think that's exactly where a lot of kingdom women are sitting right now, especially the women I serve, the women that I talk to, because you're not afraid of hard work. You have already proved that. You've succeeded in the boardroom, the classroom, and corporate America, leadership. You managed the teams, solved the problems, carried the weight, and made the call when everybody else stood around waiting to be told what to do. You're not incapable, you're not inexperienced, and you're not afraid of work. But then you stepped into online business, and somehow you started believing you didn't know what you were doing. So you bought another course, you grabbed somebody else's funnel, someone else's launch strategy, content plan, built the landing page, changed the message again and again, reworked the offer, tried the entertainment reel strategy, and every time something didn't immediately work, you assumed another piece must be missing until you looked around one day and realized you had duct taped a whole business together out of pieces from 15 people's businesses, and none of them were building the business God gave you. That's why you're exhausted, not because you're incapable, but because you spent so much time building and fixing and piecing together behind the scenes that you have barely done the one thing that actually generates and creates revenue. Getting market facing, getting your ideas in front of people, your authority in front of people, your convictions, your offer in front of actual human beings who have the problem you can solve and can say yes to you. And somewhere along the way, the online business industry convinced us that being market facing meant one thing: social media. Instagram, Facebook, Reels, Stories, posts every day, stay visible, feed the algorithm, don't disappear. And because everybody kept repeating it, we started treating it like it was business law. It's not. You don't have to build your business that way. So here's the question I want you sitting in today. The same one I asked my whole life. Does it actually have to be done this way? And even more important, is this the way God is telling me to build mine? Because here's what makes this whole conversation we're going to be talking about today even more interesting. Instagram itself already told us exactly where it's going and exactly what it wants from you while you're there. So hold that question. Does it actually have to be done this way? Because that changes everything. Let me tell you who I am first if you're new to the show, and then I'm going to show you what Instagram admitted. Hey, welcome back to the Kingdom Business Revolution podcast. If you and I have not met yet, welcome. I am thrilled that you're here. And if you are a repeat listener, I'm so blessed to have you here again. I'm Kristen Duranci, a Kingdom Business Strategist, and this is the show for the Kingdom woman who knows she's called to build something real and she refuses to build it by the world's rules. I help Kingdom women just like you build profitable, sustainable businesses on an audience they actually own and with authority that actually compounds without being a slave to social media and without dancing for a machine. And I want you to know, I did not learn this from a whiteboard. I learned it the hard way. Back in 2025, every one of my social media accounts got hacked overnight. I was only really on Facebook, so years of audience, content, momentum gone in a blink of an eye. Everything I had been told to build on wiped out while I slept. And then the year that followed became the highest revenue year I had. Sit in that with me. The platforms went dark and business grew anyway because my voice was never actually imprisoned in the platform. My assignment did not live on rented land. It had somewhere else to stand. That is the day this message was born in me. That is why I'm so passionate about helping women stop being a slave to social media, use their voice to create kingdom wealth so that your business can wreak havoc on the enemy of this world. Because I refuse to watch one more kingdom woman in online business pour her whole calling into a platform and social media that can be switched off overnight, taken away, or your polarizing, powerful, bold message canceled because Zuckface doesn't like what you have to say. And that's exactly why I built the room I'm going to mention today. Substack has been an amazing front-end trust pathway into my mid and high ticket offers. And I'm teaching my clients to do the same. So I created the Kingdom Substack Lab. So tuck that in your back pocket. I'll come back to it later. Right now, I just wanted you to know that the door is there if this episode resonates with you and you want to come inside. Now, what Instagram admitted. Back to the thing I told you to hold on to. Instagram itself just told us what it wanted. Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, said their own research found that the number one reason people say that they use Instagram is to be entertained. Whoa! And more recently, Instagram strategist Brock Johnson said that after sitting down with Instagram's own head of business, the message was that businesses have leaned too hard on educating. The direction now? Entertain first. Excuse me? I am not signing up for Instagram to be an entertainer. And I heard that and thought, well, there it is. Because I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to get better at keeping a stranger's thumb from moving for another 3 seconds so Instagram can show them an ad. And the kingdom woman that I'm called to serve is not here for that either. You are not here for that. You are done holding yourself back, Done playing small with the very thing God handed you. Done collecting disconnected strategies and believing one more piece of somebody else's puzzle is going to finally finish yours. And the person I'm called to serve is done believing that she has to be a slave to social media to build a profitable business, because she's not trying to become an influencer. She's building a kingdom company with true authority, true thought leadership, intellectual property, offers that solve real problems, an audience of the perfect fit buyers. And yes, she fully intends to create massive kingdom wealth, to give more, bless more, employ more, bring mothers home, fund kingdom work, challenge the broken and corrupt systems, build better ones, and advance the kingdom of God and take back territory of the enemy. You are called to build that kind of business that causes absolute havoc in the enemy's plans. So no, I'm not interested in teaching you how to be more entertaining for Instagram. And I hope for all things holy that you are not interested in entertaining for Instagram for the likes and the follows as well. You are here to create real kingdom wealth. And I'm interested in helping you build a business so strong that Instagram becomes optional. And let's just talk about Instagram a second here. I did try to get on it. I had my virtual assistant cross-promote everything that I'm doing over in Substack, because Substack has become my marketing and sales hub. I dug into the data back in June, and I did a podcast on this. I will link it up in the show notes. It's called The Data Doesn't Lie, and Why Social Media is Not a Business Growth Strategy for Christian Women in Business. I actually went into the statistics of Substack, and only like 0.07% was coming from social media. So I told my virtual assistant, we're not even going to be on there anymore because you don't need it. Almost 99% of my growth came from Substack's own network. So I went behind the scenes and showed you exactly what the data was telling me. So I'll link that up in the show notes. But let's go back to Instagram right now, because Instagram is just being honest about what it is. That's what it is. They just admitted it because that is what Instagram is, an entertainment platform. So realizing this is actually a gift. They told us their number one job is to keep us entertained. Let's entertain the masses, entertain the crowd, and start to numb their mind, dumb them down, so they won't have critical thinking skills, so that they won't see what's going on behind that curtain. If you're with me, you're with me. I get that, right? They just want to keep us scrolling, watching, sharing, coming back, entertained, just long enough so we can pull that wool over our own eyes and not actually pay attention to what's going on in this world, or just long enough that we run across an ad where they buy something, because that's where they're making their money. And that makes complete sense from their side of the table. Instagram has a business model, and their whole job is to keep people there, because your attention is the product they sell. You are never the customer, you are the inventory. So think about what that does to a woman with a conviction-led message. You've been trying to build a business on a platform that is not working for what you're trying to do. You've been running deep, convicted, life-changing content inside a machine built for the scroll. Or maybe you've actually been trying to entertain people and you're like, this isn't me. It's like trying to teach the most important thing you know in the middle of a carnival. Nothing is wrong with what you're trying to teach. Nothing is wrong with your message. Nothing is wrong with what you have come to say, but it's the wrong room, the wrong place. The carnival was built to keep people moving and laughing and spending money, not to help one woman sit still long enough to actually be changed by your message. And I'm not even mad at Instagram for being Instagram. What makes me lose my mind is watching talented kingdom women in business do what everyone's told them to do and continue to be on social media when social media's job is just to entertain. When did the algorithm get a vote in your assignment? This is where a kingdom CEO needs discernment, because somewhere along the way we quietly stopped asking, God, what did you call me to build? And we started asking, what does the algorithm want me to make today? Sit with that a moment. The algorithm says shorter, so we go shorter. It says reels, so we make reels. It says do a trending audio, so we spend 5 minutes hunting down a trending audio. It says hook them in 1 second, so we rewrite everything we know into a 1-second hook so that we can share something in 60 seconds before it goes away. It says to entertain, and here we are Googling how to be entertaining. At what point did Meta get a seat on your board of directors? At what point did an algorithm get a vote on your assignment? Your kingdom assignment. It never did. And I think some of you listening need permission today to say it out loud that you don't want that anymore. You finally noticed you've been pouring your highest, sharpest, most anointed thinking into a machine built to shred it into confetti by tomorrow morning. Because in 2 seconds, it's gone. 24 hours later, you're standing in the kitchen asking, what do I post tomorrow? That's not compounding your authority and your assignment and your business and your revenue. It's a hill that you're constantly walking up, trying to reach the top. And you're not here just to continue to create content that's entertaining. You're here to create content that lives on, content that you can get paid from, content that can pull the thread through into your mid and high ticket offers, and content that builds your authority. And that distinction is everything. I don't think most kingdom women entrepreneurs need to become better content creators. I think we need to become stronger thought leaders, and those are not the same job. A content creator wakes up asking, what should I post today? A thought leader asks, what do I actually believe? What do I see that most people haven't caught up to yet? What problem was I built to solve? What truth will I stand on when it isn't popular? That is authority. That is conviction. And your authority and your convictions need somewhere to live. Your testimony, your body of work, the whole thing. Because if every good thing you make vanishes down a feed by dinner time, you're not building an asset. You're renting attention, and that attention is just entertainment and on a space and a platform that you'll never own. And I want you to understand that some of you are questioning your calling, questioning if you even have what it takes because you haven't been able to create consistent revenue in your business. Your work is good. It's always been good. It's just standing in the wrong room. The gap between how good you are in solving the problem that you can solve for your ideal client and how little it's giving back to you in terms of the impact on revenue that you can be creating isn't a you problem. It's a location problem. And that is why I am so excited and gung-ho about Substack, because Substack is a place where your thought leadership and your content can live on and on and on. And it's not like you have to create new content every single day. I'm not excited about Substack because you need one more social platform to feed and post on. The last thing I want to do on this earth is to hand you a second hamster wheel. I'm excited and gung-ho on Substack because when it's positioned right, Substack becomes the front end of your business. It has become my market and sales pipeline. And remember what I told you at the beginning of the episode, you have to become market facing. This is the part I love. Substack doesn't hand you one more place to hide and build behind the scenes. Positioned right, it pulls the whole business outward. You publish from your convictions. You have the conversation. You go live and you make the invitation. It's a platform that allows you to discover where your ideal clients are, to nurture them, to build relationships with, and to make the invitation. You find out what your market actually responds to. Your Substack shouldn't dilute your business. It should be the trust pathway and the engine that helps build it. And your Substack should definitely not become one more place that you just scramble to produce content. It can, position strongly, become the trust engine for the offers you already have. And think about the difference and the human on the other end. On Instagram, you're trying to stop a thumb. She's scrolling, she's distracted, she's fighting 1,000 other pieces of content, and you've got 2 seconds to make your case and to make her see that you care. But when a woman chooses to sit down and read your article or press play on the podcast that you host there, now you have minutes, 10, 20, sometimes even 30. It creates trust exponentially faster than a 30-second reel ever could. People need something like 7 to 11 hours with you, hearing you, reading your stuff before they trust you enough to buy something that actually matters. 7 to 11 hours. Are you going to get that in 3-second clips? That's going to take months, and it might not even happen at all. But a woman who reads your article for 5 minutes, then walks over to your 30-minute podcast, you just bought back weeks of that trust in one sitting. And when positioned like a funnel, so you can pull people through and nurture them, it creates it exponentially faster. And when someone gives you that kind of time inside the way that you think, inside your thought leadership, something happens. She starts to understand your worldview. She starts to understand your convictions, your thought leadership, what your biblical view is, your core values. She starts to see how you solve the things she's stuck in. She starts to trust you, but more importantly, she starts to say, hey, this is the person I want helping me. I know that she can help me. I understand that through her frameworks and what I'm reading, but when you can really pour in your convictions and your core values, that is what changes everything. Because then she knows this is the person I want helping me. And if you want to start learning how to position Substack strong as the front end of your business and create a trust pathway offer to your mid and high ticket offers, that is why I created the Kingdom Substack Lab, to help amazing women like you use Substack and position it as the front end of your business. Because what I'm seeing over on Substack is that everyone can teach how to grow and how to start a Substack. But what I'm not seeing is people doing it through a business strategist lens, so that you can use Substack strategically and intentionally as a trust pathway to pull the thread through into your mid and high ticket offers that will allow you to get off social media. I see challenges that are get your next 100 subscribers or do this XYZ thing, but none of them are telling you how to monetize Substack and use your paid tier as an easy yes offer that brings your perfect fit ideal client into your mid and high ticket offers. So I built the room that holds your authority and your message and your thought leadership, even if Zuckface decides to lock you out of Facebook and Instagram tomorrow. It's $47 a month. You can walk away anytime. That's how sure I am that you're not going to want to. You get access to me 4 times a month, The first week of the month, I'm going to bring to you live this Substack strategy updates and things that Substack have changed and things that they've updated or added to. So you can either implement them or put them in your back pocket for later. The second week of the month, you're going to get Substack support office hours, where you're going to bring any questions that you have, any tech issues that you have. The third week of the month, you're going to get the Substack business strategy. Remember, we're looking at Substack through a business strategist lens. You're going to get a business strategy that's going to help you monetize Substack. Remember, Substack is the vehicle, the front end of your business. Your business by God's design is the destination. A business that is profitable, impactful, sustainable, one that sees consecutive and predictable revenue on a monthly basis. If you don't have a business by God's design, putting Substack in front of it is not going to change anything. It's going to allow you to start to weave your thought leadership in and have an amazing lead generation off social media. And you're going to be able to monetize your paid tiers when you implement the Kingdom Substack system inside the Kingdom Substack lab and the strategy that I teach. But that pull through thread into your mid and high ticket offers isn't going to be successful unless you have an offer that is validated, you know your ideal client inside and out, you have an authority, an audience building system, a sales conversion system, and a delivery and scale system. And that is what we do inside Business by God's Design Advisory. If that's something that you're interested in, I will also link up the application in the show notes. And I'll also link up the Kingdom Substack Lab so you can go check it out or join us for September. And here is what a new subscriber, Erica Glover, said about the Kingdom Substack Lab. I love that you share, create, and operate from the kingdom perspective. Thank you. Well, thank you, Erica. I am so thrilled to be supporting you inside the Kingdom Substack Lab. Erica is a holistic nervous system and gut coach for moms over 40 with young kids. You're not too much, you're just dysregulated. She's lived it, now she teaches it. So go check her out. I will link her in the show notes as well. Now, I want you to hear me on this before we leave today. I don't want you hearing this episode and thinking, okay, Kristen says Instagram's bad, Substack good, so I'll go dump 3 articles a week over there. No, don't do that, because you can absolutely rebuild the same broken machine on nicer ground. More content does not equal more sales. Okay, my friend? More information does not equal more value. Your paid Substack better not be, you get my content for free, and then if you pay me, I'll bury you in even more content. No one in 2026 is lying awake going, you know what's missing from my life? Just more content to consume, right? We're already drowning in so much information. Information is cheap. AI made it cheaper. What your person you're called to serve will pay for now is clarity, curation, application, access, proximity, implementation, a decision made, a shortcut that you can give them, proximity to someone who's already walked it out. So when I teach Kingdom Women to build on Substack, I don't say go write a newsletter. I say look at the business you already have and ask, how do we reverse engineer this to feed that? Who does it need to attract? What does she need to believe before she can buy? What part of your method can she taste for free? What part of your intellectual property are we going to keep behind a paywall? What is that next logical step for her? That's business strategy, not content for the sake of content. My amazing friend, this is bigger than Instagram. This is about ownership. I want you to own your audience, own your intellectual property, own your message, own the relationship with every woman who raised their hand and said, I want to hear from you. I'm giving you permission to get off social media if you want to. Sure, you can use social media. You can repurpose your content from Substack. You can share, connect, meet people. I'm not telling you you can't have your Facebook community if it's thriving. I'm telling you to stop making it the foundation. That's the difference. Use social media if you choose to, but don't let social media use you. And stop confusing reach with authority, followers with buyers, views with impact. And please stop confusing performing well for an algorithm with being obedient to your kingdom assignment. If you're not creating kingdom wealth that changes your legacy, changes the legacy of those around you, where you can give more, bless more, and change broken and corrupt systems, my friend, I wholeheartedly believe that you are not being obedient to the gift that God gave you. Kingdom wealth requires kingdom stewardship. God gives us the ability to create wealth on purpose. That is one of my favorite verses. I want to say it's Deuteronomy 12:2. Right off the top of my head, I can't remember what verse it is, but He has given you the ability to produce wealth. That doesn't mean every Christian is supposed to become a millionaire. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying quit acting like building wealth is somehow less holy than building content. Because what happens when righteous women hold real resources? We solve problems. We give generously. We create jobs. We care for families. We fund the thing God cares about. We walk into a corrupt industry and build a clean alternative right next to it, while the enemy's shaking in his boots. Money only magnifies what is already in the hand of the one holding it. So no, I am not ashamed that I want kingdom women profitable. I want you profitable enough that when God says give, you give. When He says build, you build. And when He says hire, you hire. And when He says go, you don't have to whisper, "Oh, I wish I could." That is stewardship. And I'm far more interested in that than in getting you another 10,000 views on a reel that's forgotten by Friday. Now, before we close, let me talk to the woman who's been nodding their head this whole time. You're tired. Your assignment is tired. You've been handing your best thinking to a platform that hands it right back to you as disposable. And you can even feel your authority leaking out the bottom of the Instagram bucket. Here's the cost of leaving it exactly as it is. Another 12 months of churn, another year where the deepest thing you know how to teach, that intellectual property and what the Lord is asking you to do, gets buried by the feed in under 2 seconds. A business still standing on ground somebody else can switch off and pave over overnight. I know that one personally. So here's the next step. Come inside the Kingdom Substack Lab and learn how to use Substack strategically, how to set it up if you have never even been there, how to position it as the front end of your business. This is a monthly implementation membership for kingdom women who are building beyond social media. It's not another course to collect. It's the room where you actually build the thing. Inside, you get my Kingdom Substack system, the full framework. You get the monthly strategy. You get live implementation support in office hours so you're not building alone, guessing, hoping you got it right. We build you an intentional Substack, grow you the right audience, not a vanity number, and we connect your message straight to your paid offers, all without posting every day and without performing for the algorithm. And if you're asking yourself, gosh, I don't want to create more content, I already have a podcast. Hear me out. You're not signing up for Substack to make more content. You are taking your main pillar piece of content, whether it's a podcast or a blog or just your thought leadership or even something that you've extracted from mini courses that you have or whatever it is. This is the same work you've already been doing, same teaching, same voice, same intellectual property you've been pouring out for years and getting maybe 11 likes, 2 shares, same work, new address on Substack, and a new address that finally pays you for creating the content that you create. So step inside the Kingdom Substack Lab. It's only $47 a month, no annual commitment. You can cancel anytime. The link is right in the show notes, or you can go to kingdombusinesslab.substack.com/subscribe. So come build the front end of your business on Substack with us, where your authority and thought content can actually live on and on and on. I'll leave you with one question today, just one. Carry it with you into the week. What game are you playing? Because Instagram already told you what game they're playing. Attention and entertainment, retention, ad revenue. There's no secret there. They told you that. You're the one that needs to decide. Are you going to become an influencer, or are you going to build a kingdom business? Are you gathering followers, or are you cultivating buyers? Are you manufacturing endless content, or do you want to create intellectual property and content that outlives that 30-second reel? And as we close out, remember, Kingdom CEOs are not here to entertain an algorithm. We're here to lead, teach, create, build, and steward the thing God placed in our actual hands. We're here to create kingdom wealth so we can give more, bless more, restore families, fund the missions, take back territory, and advance the kingdom of God. And if what we build wreaks havoc on the kingdom of darkness on the way, then good. We're doing our job. Have an amazing, blessed day, my friend.